but I cannot fool my heart. Oh, the second Amanda's Adventure came out today? Oh, I might play that actually. That sounds kind of boppy. Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? Yo, everybody say Senior Poo Poo. Thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you, Senior Poo Poo. We are live now on YouTube. We are also live. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. When will my reflection show who I am inside? That's gonna be stuck in my head now all night, bro. Damn it. Why did I let that get in my head? We're doing debates. We're live for debates. We're live. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the chat. If you're here, welcome in. I actually have to change what the debate topic says on Twitch. Today's topic is Trump is the enemy of the people. Why would you vote for him? Oh, it just says, why would you vote, doesn't it? Oh. Let me fix that. There we go. For him. Trump is an enemy of the people. Why would you vote for him? Just around the river bend. Good song. If you're here to debate, there's a couple ways to do it. You can call the call line if you're on Twitch and YouTube, or you can guest request on TikTok. Caleb said because his policies are good. Name me a policy, Caleb. Be specific. Name me a policy. Sorry, we were talking about music and stuff before we went live today, so we were going through music and everything. What do you guys think? Can Caleb name a policy? What do you think, guys? What do you think? Don't spam anything in the chat because TikTok doesn't like that. Tell me in the chat if you think Caleb's going to name a policy. Hi, Chair. Which is best? Law-abiding citizen, Forrest Gump, Green Mile, 50 First Dates, Hancock, Click, or Step Brothers? Forrest Gump. Why are the likes so low? Why are the likes so low? But also, Atheist Donor, if that's all you want to talk about, I'm saving the guest request for people that disagree. I mean, we've been waiting. Caleb still ain't named a policy yet. He's just probably going to name some vague position like the border or healthcare. What happened to D-Bake? I don't know. Man disappeared off the face of the earth. I definitely didn't have anything to do with it. Anyway, if you want to debate his tariffs at foreign trade. So what I just learned is Caleb doesn't understand tariffs. And let me explain to you, chat, why Caleb doesn't understand tariffs. So Donald Trump's plan is to input a 20% tariff on all imported goods and a 60% tariff on all imported goods from China. Now, here's why this will not work. America currently does not have the manufacturing power in order to sustain bringing all of those jobs here. For example, a lot of the stuff we get from China, not including products, are like the little things we need to manufacture products. America doesn't have the infrastructure to produce these little, I don't know what you would call them, but like America doesn't have these standards to produce those. And in fact, a report that came out from, I don't remember the institution, said that in order for America to create the onshore production capacity that China has, or that our overseas manufacturing does, it would take us 10 to 20 years, which means you're not going to see any of those onshore jobs for 10 to 20 years, right? And even then, American companies are not going to pay Americans $20 to $25 an hour, 15 maybe more, to produce like small little trinkets that go inside of goods. They're not going to do that. They've showed time and time that they're not going to do that. So this idea that Trump's tariffs are a good thing is completely fabricated. Tariffs are a tax on the consumer. China does not pay these tariffs. Foreign countries do not pay these tariffs. Who pays these tariffs are the companies importing the goods. And in order to cover the cost of the tariff, they will raise consumer prices in order to do that. So But if you want to just admit you don't know how tariffs work, that would make this an easier conversation because I could go, cool, and we could just move on, right? If you want to just admit like, oh, I didn't know how tariffs worked. But if somebody wants to tell me why tariffs are good, I'll listen, but I just gave you a long reason of why they aren't. Somebody said Kamala already raised prices. Bob, why don't you join and tell me what specific policies Kamala Harris put through that raised prices? I'd love to hear it. If you've got it. I don't think you've got it because Kamala Harris hasn't put through any policies because she's a vice president, and vice presidents are largely ceremonial positions, save for their presiding over the Senate. For 3 years, they raised prices. So prices always raise. That's why we have an inflation rate. Prices also rose under Donald Trump. They would have just been raising at the rate of the inflation while Trump was president. When we say inflation is at 2.5%, what do you think that means? That means that prices are steadily creeping up by 2.5%. That's the inflation rate. It's the rate at which inflation happens. Tariffs are what funded the government. Federal tax was supposed to be temporary. So tariffs funded the government prior to us implementing as much manufacturing as we currently have. It is not sustainable in our current economy. Yes, inflation was also at an all-time high during COVID. But when it comes to like economic recovery, we were one of the fastest countries to recover economically in like the G7. So, I mean, if you just want to admit you don't know how the economy works, that's fine. I shouldn't know more about the economy than you. Looks like we got a guest request. Let's find out. Hello, are you here to debate? Hello? 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 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, was not here to debate. Tyler said, dude, you're wearing a cat headset. Okay, and your point. Prove me wrong on anything that I have said so far. I don't really care about what somebody is wearing. I'm not weird like you, Tyler, and I'm not like focused on what somebody is wearing. People in the YouTube chat are saying, well, the economy was way better. What did Trump specifically do to make the economy better? What did he do? I don't want to just hear ifs and maybes and whats and has-beens. I want to hear specifics. Calling someone weird doesn't make you right. Well, I'm right because you haven't provided a counter argument. So I'm right until you provide a counter argument. Fun fact. Lowering corporate taxes did not see a benefit to middle and lower class America. In fact, when we look at the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, when we specifically look at the amount that middle and lower class Americans received, on average, it's about a 229 increase in tax deductions. That's it. That's it. $229. That's nothing. That's laughable. He drove energy costs down. How did he drive energy costs down? How? You guys need to say the how for the things you're talking about. You can't just say he did X. You need to provide the examples. It's like super simple. Super simple. Producing more energy. We produce more energy right now than we ever have in US history. In fact, I can provide evidence for this. Give me a second. I can provide you all the information. So if you go to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, EEI.gov, you'll be able to see a very handy chart. Now, this chart is going to tell us, okay? It's going to tell us very specifically how the U.S. is doing energy-wise. And what we see here on this handy-dandy chart that I'll put up on the screen, okay? What we see here on this lovely, lovely chart is the U.S. primary energy overview from 1950 to 2023. Currently, right now, we are producing more than we consume, and we are exporting more than we import, which means we are more energy efficient now than we have ever been as a country. Again, we're producing much more than we consume, and we're importing more than we are. We're exporting more than we import. Now, I'm not a big fan of oil as an energy system to begin with, but if you're going to make the claim that we are not energy efficient now, or that energy efficient. Okay, so this is how I know Tyler doesn't know what he's talking about. The Keystone Pipeline didn't even bring oil into America. It had nothing to do with American oil production. So that's how I know you don't know what you're talking about. So thanks. Thanks for playing the game. You literally don't know what you're speaking on. Embarrassing. Somebody's in the box on TikTok, so let's see. Mr. Peppy, are you here to debate?
Yes, but I am, but I think we might be on the same side on this one. Can you hear me?
Are they talking, chat? I see them talking, but I don't hear them talking. Oh, there we go. Mr. Peppy. Yep, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Sweet.
Okay. I think we're on this. I think we're on the same side, but I would like to answer the question from my perspective.
Okay.
I think that the main reason that people will not acknowledge why they are going to vote for that man is because he made them feel seen, and he made them feel pretty for the first time in a long time.
Made them feel pretty is wicked work. Love that.
Yeah.
I actually think it's because they don't want a democracy. Most MAGA specifically just want Trump to be a dictator. They want him to be a king. They don't want checks and balances in our government system. They just want the president to be able to do like whatever they want whenever they want. So that's why I believe they want to vote for him.
I think that too, but I also think that a big part of it is he made all of their isms acceptable again.
I don't disagree with that either. But hey, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Peppy, for popping up. You have a great rest of your day. I'm going to keep on looking for people to debate.
You too. Take care.
You too. So again, for anybody who wants to try to defend Trump, my call-in line wasn't working, but it's back up. Real quick, I want to say thank you to Steph for the Venmo. Everybody say W Steph. I learned more from you than I ever did in school. Damn, that's embarrassing. And everybody say thank you to Jamie for the Venmo as well, for still being in top 3. Jamie, of course. So say thank you to Steph and Jamie. Remember, if I do want to try to hit our goal today. It's been a bit since we've hit one of our goals. So if you can tip, Cash App, Venmo are in the bio for all the work that I do here. You don't have to. All my content will always be free, but it's there in case you want to. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Good. What is your name, age, and pronouns, please?
My name is Alex. I'm 21, and my pronouns, I really don't care about the pronouns. You can go about how biology works. I'm a man, so you can call me by he.
Okay, so I will call you he, him, because those are your preferred pronouns. What are you here to talk? Or well, let me ask you the question. Why would you vote for Donald Trump?
Well, I mean, I can list all the reasons. I think everybody in the chat already knows why I would vote for Trump. I honestly want to ask you why you would vote for Kamala. I think that would be a better conversation.
Never said I was.
Oh, you're not going to vote for Kamala?
Don't know if I will or not. This is simply a conversation to talk about why I would vote for Donald Trump, who I believe is an enemy to the United States people.
So why do you believe he's an enemy to the United States?
He tried to overturn a duly elected election. He
how?
By having a plot where he created fake electors and sent those fake electors to Mike Pence, so that Mike Pence would certify fake electors from the swing states as opposed to certifying the actual electors from the swing states.
Okay, so you're going to run with that story. All right, well, we're going to disagree on
it's not a story. It's not a story. There's tons of evidence that he did this. Did you read the entire Jack Smith indictment?
No, I read the Jack Smith indictment. I did.
So you saw all the evidence that he did this.
I think what's more interesting is that we have more than 10 million coming in right now, and they're actively trying to get them to vote, obviously for the people that let them in. So don't you think that's like a bit more scary?
Are these people legal residents of the United States?
No, but they can vote. You already know that they're trying to pass a bill. I mean, you can look it up right now. I'm not going to give you a list.
You made the claim, so please tell me.
Well, I don't know the states. You can look them up.
Well, you made the claim. 13 of them. You made the claim, so I would assume you would have some sort of evidence for the claims that you made.
Right, right. I do, just not on me right now.
So which
That's why
states do
I'm
not
asking you.
do
Don't
not
you think
require
it's
social
more
security number to
troubling
register
that
to
we
vote?
have 10 million plus illegal immigrants that they're trying to,
No,
you know,
I don't.
do
I
the
don't think.
vote
I
on?
don't think. No, because people who are undocumented cannot vote in our elections, and they didn't vote in the
Okay.
elections last time. There's zero proof that
All right.
there was a statistically significant amount of undocumented immigrants who voted in the 2020 election. There's no evidence of this.
Oh,
So there's no evidence
there's
that it's
no evidence.
happening.
Zero.
Yes. Do you want to provide some?
Well, no. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just
Okay,
trying to see.
then when
I'm
I
just
say
trying to
there is no
understand why you
evidence, that
think
is
he's
correct.
the enemy of the state.
Yeah, because he tried to overturn a duly elected election. He created
Right,
a plot
that he believed to be false.
I don't care if he believes the election is false, right? He can believe in mermaids for all I want, for all I care.
Right.
I don't care what he believes, right? When
Okay.
you create a system where you are putting in fake electors, that is quite literally against the law, anti-American, and democracy. It's anti-democracy
right,
to
right.
do that.
I understand.
So
No, I
when
understand.
when he
So
told
I'm
Mike
not
Pence
actually
certify these fake electors, that is why I would not vote for him. That is one of
Okay,
many
I understand.
reasons, but that is to me one of the most important ones.
Right. So I'm coming from as more of the common American, how we feel. And it is very clear that we lived better lives under Trump than compared to Joe Biden. Now the fake electee, Kamala, who has just been propped up. Do you at least agree with me there? She was never even voted in, never even nominated for anything. She was just propped up.
She was put in through the process that the DNC has labeled in their bylaws for when an incumbent drops out of the race.
Right, because he didn't even he.
The
he
DNC
was forced,
is
but all right.
a private organization. The DNC could
understand.
decide tomorrow not to hold a primary, and there would be nothing anybody could do. Right? She also
Well, at that point,
received
we would
all
just
of the
have
delegate
like an all-out
votes.
civil war.
So all of the delegates, when Biden dropped out, were able to put their delegate votes wherever they wanted to, and they put their delegate votes towards Kamala Harris. But none of this is important to me, right? When you mentioned that you're just going how the modern American feels when it comes to Donald Trump being elected, what you said was like Americans were better off under Donald Trump. But what specific policies did Donald Trump put in place that made a middle to lower class Americans better off? What were those policies?
Well, I can't sit here and name every single policy, but I can tell you that groceries were cheaper. There were no new wars started under Trump.
That's
which
because we are
know
currently in
every
in
president
conflicts.
wants new wars because it funds their donors, funds the
So wait, let's
military-industrial
analyze those a little bit. I would love to analyze those with you. One, when it comes to groceries being,
You're cutting out.
I said let's analyze
Hello?
the things that you said. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello.
For me, you're sounding like a robot right now. I don't know what's happening.
Well, it would be your connection. Would you like to call back in?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Now I can hear you better. What were you saying?
Okay, great. I wanted to analyze the things you had said. So one, groceries were cheaper. What did he do specifically to make groceries cheaper? The answer would be
I
nothing.
can't hear you again.
Okay, well, you're
Hello?
going to have to call back in then. I guess he's going to have to call back in. If anybody else would like to call while we're waiting, the call-in line is back open. Just a reminder, if you want to support the stream, my link tree in my bio has my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. Support the stream. You'll get a shout out on stream. It's a whole fun thing. Let's take a listen. Hello, are you here to debate?
What?
Are you here to debate?
Yep.
How old are you?
18.
When's your birthday? Like what year?
What?
What year is your birthday?
Why?
Okay, so you're not 18. Got it. If anybody who is over the age of 18 would like to call in, please call the call-in line. If you are over 18, I do not stream people under the age of 18 in debates. I just feel like it's not conducive to proper conversations. So if you would like to have the conversation, please feel free. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
I am chillin'. Can I just get your name, age, and pronouns, please?
My name is John Saunders. My age is 32, and I am a male.
Okay, so what are your pronouns, John?
He, him.
Okay, got it. No problem. John, let me ask you, why should I vote for Donald Trump if he's an enemy of the people?
So, my original basis was when I voted back in 2008. I actually voted for Democrat. I was a Democrat before, after Bush, all that stuff. I was in the Army. Didn't really like any of the policies that Obama pushed out, and over the course of Trump's administration, I saw how bad the economy was up until his point. The economy was definitely propped up during his term, and now during Biden's term, and I don't know if that's just Biden's administration or what has happened, but I mean, it's hard to argue with the proof that the economy has actually taken a nosedive under his term.
Okay,
And
so I will
don't see how.
I will just ask you the same question that I ask everybody who says this. What specifically did Donald Trump do to better our economy? Like, what specifically
So
did
over
he do?
his term, I'm pretty sure he reduced federal taxes through the budget deficits. He did not print more money, which Paul Biden has done, is printed more money during his administration. From what he inherited from Obama, it kind of was through definitely the full employment market definitely was inherited through Obama, but I would definitely say the federal taxes has been Trump's entire go-to horse through his term.
Yeah, so a few things on this. One, when we look at the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and we look at how it benefited people in the middle and lower class America, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act saw a net increase of about $229 for people making between $15,000 to $50,000. So not like a lot of money at all.
And that's better than what it is now.
Well, now we are still under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So if you have an issue with the taxes, we're still under his tax plan. We're still under that plan until 2025 when it expires. So do you have an issue with the current tax plan?
The current tax plan is eating away at people, yes.
Okay, the current tax plan is Donald Trump's.
Was not put in under Donald Trump.
The current tax plan is the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That was put in under Donald Trump. Passed in 2017, went into effect in 2018, will be in effect until 2025. It's Donald Trump's tax plan. So if you have an issue with how taxes have changed,
Has
it's
increased through everything.
yes, because Donald Trump put into his tax plan that there would be increases over the what is it, 8 years that it's in play. So again, if you have an issue with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, right, that would be an issue with Donald Trump. Biden hasn't put through a tax policy.
So why didn't Biden change it then during his term?
He doesn't have the power to.
He doesn't have the power to change it?
No, not to put in a new tax policy, not until this one expires. He doesn't have the votes. He doesn't have the votes to put in to put this one out and then put in a new one until this expires. Then when this expires,
you think the economy right now has been better than it was under Trump?
I think the economy right now is evening out. We have more jobs than we did under Donald Trump. The unemployment rate is lower. The unemployment rate is basically leveled out to where it was pre-COVID. Inflation is at 2.5, I think, which is where we want it to be, between 2 and 2.5, like sustainable for the country. So yeah, I mean, things might be expensive, but things don't become unexpensive when inflation goes down. That's not how that works.
Inflation has increased extensively.
Inflation's at 2.5.
Biden has been in office. We can agree with that.
Inflation is at 2.5 right now.
But what was it under Trump?
The lowest it got under Trump was like 1 point something, but like you don't want inflation in the
So in 4 years it increased over a whole percentage.
Wait, you don't want inflation at 1%. Even if inflation got to 1% under Biden, the Fed would artificially put inflation back up to 2. 2% is what's
Who,
viewed as
who
healthy
doesn't
inflation.
who doesn't want inflation
Our
that high?
economy,
Because I know
our
normal
economy.
people don't want it that high.
Our whole economy does not want inflation that low. You don't want inflation to stagnate wages and spending. That's why the Fed
Okay, so the
pushes.
economy and people up high don't want it that high because they see the big picture. But normal people who can't pay for their food don't want that.
So wait, should I be worried about?
See,
Wait. Hold on. Answer me this question. Should I be worried about how normal people view it if we go under the normal person framework, we're going to stagnate the economy? Shouldn't I be more
normal
focused
people
with like
are the ones that go to vote.
yeah,
yes,
but
you should.
is voter disinformation my problem? Like, shouldn't the voters just inform themselves on how the economy works and how the Fed works?
No, not everybody does that. They're not as informed as like me and you who actually look the stuff up. I mean, it's just normal people, you know? You got to go and base off of the minority, not the majority.
Sure, but when
Or
we're
sorry,
talking
reverse.
about
You've
when we're
got to
talking
base
about
things off of
inflation, when we're talking about inflation,
Yeah.
inflation right now is at a healthy percentage. It's at about 2.5, where inflation is healthy.
for
Right.
what me and you understand about it. But when you talk about the normal voter, that's not going to pass for somebody who can't pay their bills.
Yeah, but
Somebody
I'm asking,
that's paying paycheck
I'm
to
asking
paycheck, all
why
you
would
say
you
is number percentage.
wait? But if I'm asking why you would vote for him, you should say I'm not going to vote for
Why
him because of
I would
inflation.
vote for Trump?
Well, yeah, that's the question.
Oh,
that's
I
posed.
understand. I understand what you're saying.
Why
I
would
get
you
what you're
vote
saying.
for him? If
Yeah,
you
no.
understand this, then inflation wouldn't be the reason to vote for him. So why would you vote for him?
Oh, me alone. I understand what you're saying. No, see, when we talk about inflation in my perspective and why I still, under Trump, I felt like inflation was better. And so prices were cheaper. I mean, everything was cheaper under Trump. I mean, there's no debating that.
Can you name me either a policy that Trump put through that kept inflation low or a policy that Biden put through that raised inflation? Can you name me one of those two things?
So we can talk about the printing money through the Treasury, so that or the Federal Reserve would be printing money through through Biden's administration.
Trump
that has
not only
been sent
just
basically,
really quickly, friend. Trump not only added more to the debt, but he did it while in a higher deficit than Biden, because through non-COVID spending, Trump spent $4.8 trillion in non-COVID spending.
that
Biden's
people
only spent
needed
2.2
that money.
in non-COVID spending.
Do we need to talk about all the money that's been spent at Ukraine that our people aren't getting?
Money
$750 has been spent on the people in North Carolina.
Hold on.
Let me
you're
finish.
pivoting right now.
$750 has been sent
That's
to people in
not
North Carolina.
That's not true, actually.
But we are going to complain about what Trump did for people in COVID.
So we can talk about what isn't true, which is $750 was sent to hurricane relief victims. I'll touch on that first. First of all, the $750 was just an initial payment for immediate disaster relief, and there was further payment after that. The Congress approved.
That's not true. They said that they didn't have the money.
No, they didn't.
They might have approved it, but FEMA doesn't have the money.
Yes, they do.
They have to build that money up.
No, they don't. They approved FEMA spending.
Nothing's been sent.
That's not
Tell
true.
me where it's been sent.
That's
how much
not
money
true.
has been sent?
There are plenty of people who've gotten thousands of dollars in FEMA response aid.
Through the first act, not this second one that has not been approved yet.
Well, that's because them not getting approved is because they won't recall Congress. Congress is on a break right now, and they won't be. And they're not Congress, the Senate, whoever it is on a break right now, and they aren't being recalled because of the Republican majority leader. He won't recall them. So how are they supposed to approve more money if the Republican majority leader will not recall them to vote?
How is it the Republican Party's responsibility to call in that vote?
It's the responsibility of the majority leader who presides over presides over this. What are you talking about? Do you know how?
If they've already done the first vote and approved it, then why do they need a second?
really quick, because they need more money, right? These were two back-to-back giant disasters. Okay, in September, Congress approved a $20 billion. They approved $20 billion for federal emergency response. Okay, but prior to this, our or actually, is it right now? Mike Johnson won't bring the House back. Yeah, it's right now. Right now, Mike Johnson will not bring the House back to vote on another hurricane relief. So if we're paused, it's because of Republican Majority Leader Mike Johnson doesn't want to recall them in. Who knows? Probably because Republicans don't actually care about disaster relief. Hence why multiple of them voted against. Wait.
The most money during Katrina.
This would be why multiple of them voted against disaster relief the first time. So specifically, if we want to get into it,
what else was in that bill the first time? Because it wasn't just disaster.
Nothing. It was FEMA. It was just FEMA funding.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
There was other things in that bill.
What? What else was in the bill?
You can pull it up. It was not just FEMA relief inside
I assume if you're making this claim, you know for a fact that there was other stuff in the bill. So what was the other stuff in the bill?
There was Ukraine stuff in that bill.
You think there was Ukraine stuff in the FEMA disaster bill?
Yes, look it up. There was disaster relief and Ukraine spending. There was a lot of things in that bill.
I just want to 100% understand your position here. And so when I look up the bill that was denied by 100 Republicans for FEMA disaster funds, I'm going to find Ukrainian funds in that bill.
Either Ukrainian funds or funds that they probably didn't like where they were going. There's no way it was just FEMA that they would pull down. And if they pulled it down, there has to be some kind of reason why they shot that down.
That's the claim. That's the claim you want to go with.
That's what I'm going to go with, yes. So what was in the first bill they shot down?
No Ukrainian funding.
What else was in it?
Well, considering I'm looking here, it's nothing about Ukraine.
Okay, what else was in the bill? Because there had to have been a reason. They wouldn't just shoot down aid to their people.
Yes, they would, and they do all the time. All the time.
Funny
Republicans shoot down funding constantly. Constantly, all the time.
Probably because this is the same thing that goes towards why the border security, when Kamala's talking about that bill gets shot down, it's because there was Ukraine spending in that bill as well that no one talks about.
Interesting. Then why did almost every Republican vote in favor of that Ukrainian funding bill like 3 months later, but still denied the border bill?
Because it's a NATO requirement, right?
So
there.
wait. Just confirming.
Big monster.
Just confirming. They turned down the bill because there was Ukrainian funding in it, but a couple months later they approved that Ukraine funding.
Oh, well, I'm sure some words were exchanged on that one. Some deals probably had to be made to get that approved.
So then why have they yet to approve a border spending bill? Clearly, it's not about adding funding to Ukraine because they have added funding to Ukraine. So why did they turn down a border spending bill?
Because the border spending bill was just for security, and it would literally do nothing to help what's going on right now.
Absolutely incorrect. The border spending bill gave money to judges to get through asylum cases. It gave money to restart construction on the border wall and made it so the border wall had to be restarted by January 1st.
That's hilarious.
And it gave money.
For Trump 4 years, he tried to build that wall, and it was shut down multiple times.
I'm going to continue real quick. And it gave money to Border Patrol for more training and more border agents. So it did everything Republicans wanted it to do. So why
is that now, right at the end of the term, that is something that's being done and not at the beginning of the term? Or somewhere in the middle? Why is it now? Right now?
Why was the border wall shut down? Because there was no approved
shooting
funding
down a bill that is 4 years late.
The bill was proposed in 2023 after Title 42 ended.
So we didn't
need the bill prior to
it was shot down.
Yeah, we didn't need the bill prior to Title 42 because Title 42 was handling
didn't need the bill.
Not prior to Title 42. Why would we?
It was a problem 4 years ago.
What did Title 42 do?
Does it not add more budget to the border security?
No.
Title 42, what does it do then?
So Title 42 was a policy that put into place restrictions on who could come across the border due to COVID. So we were restricting the amount of people that were able to legally cross the border under Title 42. So when Title 42 ended, we needed to increase because we were going to see an influx of people coming to the southern border. So that's why we put a border bill into place 10 days after Title 42 ended. But Republicans all voted against this border bill, even though Republicans are the ones who wrote this border bill. It was specifically written by a Republican representative in Florida. They then turned it down simply because Donald Trump told them, I want to run on a weak border. I cannot have the border be better. Otherwise, it's going to impact my ability to run for office.
So you think a person that is not in office has the power to tell all of Congress how to vote on a bill? That's very funny.
He 100% has the power. This is why Ted Cruz said he did this. Lindsey Graham said he did this. Yes, he absolutely has the power to tell his people in his Republican friends in office.
I've never heard Ted Cruz in any article or any news thing say. Where did he say this?
Sure, let me pull it up.
Verbatim, he said that Trump stopped the bill. He called him and said, "Stop that bill." Yes. Under oath, he would take that. He would take that under oath.
I mean, who knows if he'd say it under oath? Trump's people are pretty notorious for lying under oath. That's why a bunch of them got arrested.
That's hilarious because Trump's still not in prison, even though they're saying he did a whole bunch of bad stuff.
Do you think somebody being in prison... Wait, I just want to confirm. Do you think somebody not being in prison means they didn't do bad things? Just because they're not in prison?
That means they didn't have enough proof to put them in there, so it's pretty... that goes by the whole justice system. If you believe in the law, guilty until proven innocent.
Wait, do you think that's true? Do you think so? Let me ask you a question. Do you think Casey Anthony is guilty of unaliving her children?
Until she is proven guilty in the court of law. Then, I mean, hell, we want to talk about O.J. Simpson? You want to talk about preserving the law, okay. But you don't want to defend it.
Let's talk about being convicted. Donald Trump was duly convicted on 34 counts of fraud.
Yep.
34 felony counts of fraud. So he did that. So he's guilty.
Yep, he has the felon.
So he is guilty. He's guilty of felony fraud against the American people.
Yep, and I bet if you did that same search against 90% of the other rich people in the world, they'd probably have a pretty bad record too. But
does this mean we should allow
Trump?
Wait, just real quick. Does this mean we should allow somebody who is guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud to run our country?
Yes.
Why?
Does the law say he can't?
Why should we?
Why can't he? Does the law say he can't?
No, my question.
Does the law say he cannot run for president?
I'm posing you a question about whether he has the ability to run. I'm posing you a question about whether the people should allow him to be president.
Yes, because the law allows
That's not
it.
the question I'm posing you.
That's not the question
I'm posing you. That's not the question I'm posing you. I do not care about whether he has the ability. I care about whether people should want somebody who has committed 34 counts of fraudulent charges against the United States people. Should the people want someone like that in office?
Should we allow Kamala Harris, who lies on a daily basis, saying, "Oh, Biden's fine, he's fine," but then all of a sudden have to drop out of a race?
I understand that you have to pivot away.
So we're both agreeing that our candidates on the board right now both have issues.
So you are pivoting right now. You are refusing to answer the question.
Doesn't mean that they can't run for president.
What you are doing right now is a whataboutism. You refuse to answer the question. You know why you refuse to answer the question?
Yes, he should be allowed to run for president, even if he is a felon, because the law allows it.
Yeah, that is not the question I asked, and you know it because I've clarified it 3 times. The question I asked you was, should the American people want someone in charge of the country who was found guilty for 34 cases
I'm going
to finish the question. Should the American people want someone who running the country who frauded them 34 counts of fraud? Should they want that person running the country, and why?
Should they want a person who is a felon to run the country?
I don't care about whether he's a felon. Do they want somebody who defrauded them 34 counts of falsifying business records in order to lie to the American people? Do they want someone who did that? Should they want someone who did that to be the president?
That's a good question. One that I will counter with, how many people do you know that has taken a bullet for their country? Because I know plenty, and they're the greatest people I've ever met. So
I don't know what
Trump
this has
was
to
up
do
there
with the
on that
question I
stage.
asked.
Listen, you want me to answer?
Yeah, you're not answering the question.
That man stood up on that stage. Hold on, I'm getting to it if you let me talk. That man stood up on that stage and took a bullet to the face for this country. And he didn't back down from it. He didn't step away. Hold on, I'm answering your question. He didn't step away. He didn't give up. He continued to go on. And he even almost got shot a second time. So you ask me, should a man that has fraudulent charges against this country, who stole money, should be wanted to vote on, right? Yes, because I saw him on that stage and I saw the man and character that he has. And whatever he did in the past, he is now going to probably have punishment for it. He did. He's got charges. He's taken his charges for what he's done. He's owned up to it. He didn't try to lie about it. He went into court and he agreed. He took his charges. I mean, how many people would agree to that and
can
be
you
honest?
answer the question that I posed to you now?
I thought I just answered it, but I guess
No,
we have two
not
different
at all.
definitions of answering a question.
Not at all. My
But
question.
unfortunately,
my
I gotta
question-
call it here because I'm on a road that's probably going to lose service.
okay.
You probably have heard me.
Okay.
But it has been awesome talking to you. Hopefully, I see you again and we can debate some more because you've been awesome to talk to you.
Got it.
So hope you have a good one.
Okay, no problem. Couldn't answer a question. Couldn't answer a question at all. Yo, can we get can we just get a W to Flying Leech for the Venmo during that? Remember, I do have a goal today. We really want to try to hit our tip goal for the day. So please consider, if you like the content, without tips, I can't do this for a living, and I can't produce as much content for you guys as I want to. So please consider Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal are in the bio. Anyway, let's open the call-in line again, see if we can get more maggers. Hello, are you here to debate?
Sub on Twitch, nice.
Yes.
All right, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
My pronouns are he/him. My age is 19, and my name is Tim.
Okay, what year were you born?
2003.
And you're 19.
Yes, I'm 19.
You want to try that math again?
What?
You want to try that math again?
Son, you're breaking up.
Do you want to try that math again? That's what I thought. Christ, bro. At least do the math, dude. At least do the math, bro. Come on now. Everybody say WB Renezy, B Renezy Pie for the Venmo. Everybody say WB Renezy Pie for the Venmo, everybody. Give B Renezy Pie that big W in the chat. And we have somebody in the guest request on TikTok. Let's go to that real quick.
You hear me? I was in this live like I don't know, like I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, but you couldn't hear me, so you kicked me out. So I just wanted to say that in my opinion, you know, every if they are corrupt, you know, corruption, because of corruption, and in my opinion, every president for me is corrupt, you know.
Okay, so then we don't have anything
It
to talk
doesn't
about.
matter if he's.
We have nothing to talk about then. Everybody say W Joyful. W Joyful for the Venmo, everybody. W Joyful. Please keep up the good work. I definitely will. The call-in line is back open. Please call in if you disagree. Okay? I'm looking for disagreement, not agreement. Why'd I drop him? Because he didn't disagree. He said all presidents are corrupt. Cool, I agree with this. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes.
Is this a bit?
What?
Is this a bit?
What's a what?
Why would you call in a second time? Anyway, call in if you haven't called in and lied about your age, but call in if you disagree. Jesus Christ. Hello, are you here to debate?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up? You here to debate?
Yes.
All right, can I just get your name, age, and pronouns, please?
Yeah, I don't use pronouns. My name is Keith. 42.
I'm sorry, what was the first thing you said? You broke up a little bit.
So you asked me for my pronouns. I don't use pronouns.
Oh, yeah,
You
you
asked
do.
me for my name. Yep, my name is Keith. And what else did you need to know?
Wait, I just want to say you do use pronouns.
I'm sorry?
You do use pronouns.
I do not. No, I do not use pronouns.
Yes, you do. You're using one in that
I
sentence.
don't
Can you tell me
identify.
here? Can you tell me that you don't use pronouns without using a pronoun in the sentence?
Dude, I'm a male. You want to do this debate or do you want to fight over pronouns?
Well, I just want to. I don't think the debate can be productive if you're saying you don't use pronouns while using a pronoun in that sentence. That tells me the debate's probably going to be disingenuous.
Well, it's not disingenuous. I'm being very genuine. See, I don't feel like it's an important thing to have to identify as pronouns. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
One does not identify as pronouns. It just tells me how to refer to you in the conversation. But sure, we can skip it. Why?
Yeah, he's fine. That's fine.
Great. He. Beautiful. So now I know how to refer to you. Quick question. Why should I vote for Donald Trump? He's an enemy of the people. Why should I vote for him?
Well, I think we're in a pretty unique situation where we haven't had. I think we've had it one other time in our country where we had a 4-year case of one and a 4-year case of another back to back. And I think Donald Trump's president. Hey, listen, hate him or love him, you clearly are the former. Life was much better under him. The economy was better. Our border was better. I think it's a night and day decision, really.
Sure. Let's go through that piece by piece. What you said the economy was better. What specific policies did Trump put in place that benefited the United States economy?
Right. And I know that's kind of like the go-to. What specific policy? But I'm going to tell you like this. He was about oil production here at home. We weren't begging OPEC to drill for oil. We were an exporter of oil. Oil is the lifeblood of the economy, right? I think we can agree on that. So everything revolves around energy. When energy prices are low, everything else is low. That's what's driving up your cost of food now, and all that was
Okay.
the
So
inflation.
hold on.
And,
Let's
and I know it's
let's
gotten a little
dial
bit
into
better
that.
now.
Let's
but,
dial into that. We are currently producing more oil than we ever have in U.S. history, and we're producing much more than we export, and we're producing more than we consume, and we're exporting more than we import. So if it's about energy, okay,
now,
we're doing better now than we were under
I'm sorry.
Trump.
Go ahead.
If it's about oil specifically, we're doing better now than we did under Trump.
Well, that's one of the things. And now we are. We didn't start off like that.
Well, this has been the case since 2021. 2020. Well, in 2020, I'm sorry, 2019, we about leveled out with everything where it was about even. We were still exporting more than we imported, but producing and consuming was about the same. Then in 2020, after COVID hit, we saw a pretty big decrease in consumption because of nobody was driving, obviously. 2021 production was still bigger than we consumed, and exports were still bigger than imports. 2022 the same thing. 2023 the same thing. So the entirety of Biden's presidency, at least, we have produced more than we consumed and exported more than we imported when it comes to oil production.
Yeah. Okay. So then why the big increase in oil prices? And then not only that, why were we going and begging OPEC for oil?
Sure.
Remember when we had to go and beg them, and
the reason there was a jump in prices was because in 2020, before he left office, Donald Trump struck a deal with Saudi Arabia and Russia to cut their oil production in the midst of COVID. So we saw a drop in oil production during COVID, our oil prices during COVID, because nobody was driving and it shored up. It made it so that like oil was cheaper. Trump saw this, and specifically a very wealthy oil tycoon named Harold Hamm, as I think his name, if I'm remembering correctly, called up Donald Trump and said, hey, I'm losing a lot of money here because I can't keep up with OPEC's production costs. So Trump called Saudi Arabia in April of 2020 and said, hey, cut production so that prices go back up. And they did, because Donald Trump threatened to remove military protection that Saudi Arabia had from us. So they did this, and then oil prices rose back up.
I just want to get what you were saying. So you said Donald Trump called them and said cut oil production?
Yes.
For OPEC to cut oil production.
Correct. They cut production, I think, by like 10,000 barrels a day or something like that.
Okay, so why are we depleting our reserves under the current administration?
We're not. We're producing more than we export and more than we consume.
No. Why are we tapping into our national reserve?
Why are we tapping into our national reserves?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So in other words, under Donald Trump, we had an opportunity to refill our entire reserve at a very low price per barrel, and it was shot down by the left. And now we are tapping into our oil reserves under this
actually increase under the current administration. Oil reserves increased by 9%. This is from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, so EIA.gov.
So you're saying that our oil reserves right now are actually increased as compared to what they were under Trump, and we haven't tapped into it.
It increased by 9%. U.S. crude oil and least condensate proved reserves increased 9% from 44.4 billion barrels to 48.3 billion barrels.
No, I'm not familiar with that information. From what I heard, that we had to tap into these reserves.
Yeah, tapping into the reserves though doesn't mean that. But when we're producing more than we consume, even if we tap into those reserves, we're still producing more. There could be a litany of reasons why we use some of the oil from the reserves, right?
So we're replenishing it then.
It seems like it's gone up year over year since 2022. It's gone up. It's been going up since 2022.
I'm sorry. Go. Which way do you have to go? Sorry. Okay, come on. Sorry about that. Okay. So the other thing, I was hearing you you talk to the other caller. And I'll concede that point to you. I'm not really sure if that's accurate about that. And as far as the oil prices, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the gas has been much more expensive under this administration. But the other thing I want to speak to you about,
I just want to point out really quickly about gas prices. You're not going to see them decrease because that's not how inflation works. So when inflation drives the price up, the price then doesn't drop down to pre-inflation prices when inflation levels out. It's always going to be up. It's always going to raise. That's just how inflation works.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
Okay.
I agree with that.
So there's like nothing Biden can do to drop oil down to drop gas down to like pre-COVID numbers. It's like there's nothing he can do to do that.
Well, not now, but they had a declared war basically on the oil companies. Okay, when they came in here, so they shut down the Keystone right off the bat.
Right. Well, Keystone XL was shut down by the Supreme Court.
Kamala Harris has always said she's against fracking. She wants to get rid of fracking.
Wait. Hold on.
But go ahead.
Wait, because you're saying things and you're saying 10 points at once. Okay. First and foremost, what is fracking?
I don't know the exact definition, but it's when you use a certain method underground to retrieve the oil.
Yeah, so fracking and drilling are two different things, right? Fracking is just a method.
No, not drilling.
I know. Fracking is a method where you use water to cut through and get down to oil. So being against fracking does not mean you're against oil leases and oil drilling, right? That's just two different things. So like somebody being against fracking or not against fracking, like I don't believe in fracking because it's more harmful to the environment. But like if you like her being against fracking does not mean she's against oil and energy. And she's not against fracking anymore, so there's no issue there if you're for that stuff. Second of all, when it comes to when it comes to this war on oil, the Keystone XL pipeline was shut down by the U.S. Supreme Court. All Biden did was not renew the lease. It was shut down by the Supreme Court when Trump was in office. Second of all, the Keystone XL pipeline didn't even bring oil to the U.S. It did nothing for our oil production.
No, that's not true.
Yes,
No,
it is.
Via executive order, day one, he shut that Keystone down.
No, the Supreme Court.
I'm wrong
the
on that?
Supreme Court. Yes, the Supreme Court shut down the Keystone while Trump was still in office.
No, so what did he do? Executive order, day one.
He didn't renew
in regards to
renew,
the Keystone.
Yeah, he didn't renew the lease.
So he just didn't renew a lease.
Mm-hmm.
This was all the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm. Or he didn't renew the lease. He revoked the permit. He revoked the permit. But again, it was already shut down by the that's why there was no work being done before Biden came into office because the Supreme Court. But again, this is the reason why there was no work being done because the Supreme Court already shut
down.
Well, yes, they can. Yes, they can. When someone sued the Keystone XL pipeline, when it was sued, right, the Supreme Court.
There has to be a case brought to them first.
There was.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it was an April ruling by U.S. District Judge Brian Morris in Montana. Environmentalists contended that the Corps of Engineers construction permit program was allowing companies to skirt responsibility for damage done to water bodies, and he agreed with this. So when the U.S. District Judge, which is the Montana Supreme Court, denied this, it paused leasing on a bunch of projects. It paused the construction, halted the construction on a ton of projects, one of which was Keystone XL. But again, the Keystone XL didn't even do anything for America. It didn't provide oil for us. It was an offshoot of the Keystone pipeline that didn't even start construction. That was going to take oil from Canada to Mexico.
To Mexico, no, I understand. It was going to hit refineries down there, and I think it was in the beginning stages. Eventually, it would have done plenty for us, though.
Like what? It wasn't any oil to do with us.
You don't think the overall goal? So why did we build the Keystone XL pipeline? To help out Mexico?
We weren't the ones building it. A Canadian oil company was building it. It had nothing to do with us.
And we were never going to benefit off the Keystone.
I doubt we were going to see any sort of statistically significant benefit from the Keystone XL pipeline. Yeah.
Well, all right, whatever. I disagree on that, but I was making another point, and then we got into the Keystone thing. Your previous caller, you guys were going back and forth in regards to the border and so forth. And I just heard a lot of inaccuracies on that. I'll say for starters, and I know the left love to say this about the, Donald Trump said kill the bill. Hey, listen, the bill was a garbage bill. I don't care who brought it up.
What about the bill was garbage?
Well, first of all, you said that there was funding for a border wall.
There was funding for the wall as well as reconstruction of the wall. Reconstruction of the wall and funding was supposed to be started in January 1st of 2024.
I don't think that's accurate.
It is. I can pull you up the part of
for the wall.
Yeah, I can pull you out the part of the bill that says it.
They were going to build wall.
Yes. Specifically, the wall that had been started was going to be. We were going to restart construction on the wall.
Okay, well, you could pull that up.
Section 102. This section requires the Department of Homeland Security to resume all activities related to constructing a wall along the U.S.-Mexican border that was underway or planned prior to January 20th, 2021.
And that was under what part of the bill?
That is Section 102 of HR2, the bill that Republicans turned down.
HR2, brother. Yeah, we're talking about two. Exactly. We're talking about two different bills. HR2, that was not the bill that was not the bill that Trump
was
killed.
The bill. Yes, it was.
No, try again.
Yes, it was.
HR2 was a bill that was brought up in May, okay?
Of
That's a bill that they brought up in the summertime. Nope.
Yes.
HR2 on 4. HR2 I support.
HR2
HR2
passed
was
the
the bill that,
House.
hold on a second. HR2 was the bill that the Senate wouldn't even bother to hear.
Why did the Senate not hear HR2?
Don't know.
Because Donald Trump told his Republican friends in the Senate, hence why I mentioned Ted Cruz earlier,
No,
who is a
you're
senator.
talking about two different bills. You're talking
No, I'm
about two
not.
different bills.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're talking
I'm
about
not.
two different bills. HR2 is not that bill, sir. No, it is not.
Yes, it was.
When Kamala Harris repeats herself over and over saying Donald
Pivot.
Trump said kill the bill, she is
Pivot.
not. She
Here
is
we go.
not
Here we
referring
go.
to
Senate
HR2.
Republicans block border security bill as they campaign on border chaos. This was May 23rd, 2024. Senate Democrats failed to advocate a bipartisan border security bill Thursday, with nearly every Republican voting to filibuster it as Donald Trump wields border chaos as a centerpiece of his campaigns against President Joe Biden.
Okay, what source is this? What source is this?
This is NBC News.
Oh, okay. Yeah, listen, I don't trust MSNBC or CNN for nothing. But I'm going to tell you like this, though. That HR2 bill, I supported that HR2 bill, and the Senate wouldn't even hear it. And when Kamala Harris says she won't, that Donald Trump said kill the bill, that's not the bill she's talking about. That's not the bill she's talking. She's talking about the bill, the most recent one that Langford. That's what Senator Langford brought up. That's not HR2.
Yeah. So where do you think this
That's not
bill?
HR2,
where do
brother.
you? Where do you? Okay. So.
Check
So
again.
you're talking
That's
about
not
yeah.
HR2, brother.
I know you're talking about S1444, correct?
There you go.
Yeah. So what do you think? Where do you think S1444 came from?
Where do I think it came from?
Uh-huh.
Well, Senator. Yep, Senator
No,
Langford.
Yeah, and where do you think
Was the one that
Langford? Where do you
introduced it.
think? Where do you think Langford got it from?
I
Like,
don't
where,
know.
what,
Go
like,
ahead. What's your
what do you
point?
think it's an offshoot of?
Oh,
There's
now
a
it's
reason
an
why-
offshoot. First,
well,
no, hold on,
well,
hold on a second. No, the
yeah,
goalpost just moved,
considering-
brother,
Considering,
the goalpost
hold on,
just
hold
moved.
on.
Because
The
first you told me
committee,
that it was HR2.
yeah, you don't understand what you're talking about. The committee for S1444 started the day, like the day after HR2
Okay.
was killed.
Okay, so what? What does that? What
Do you
does
know
that
how
have to do?
bills
It's not the
become
same
laws?
bill.
Do you know how bills become laws?
And HR2 I support. HR2 had many border
Do you know how-
policies that I
do you know
fucking. The
bills
second
become
one,
laws?
no, absolutely not.
Do you know how
The
bills
second
become
one,
laws?
as a matter of fact, let's talk about S14. That bill right there. How much of that bill? How much money went to the border versus how much money went to Ukraine?
In
And they called it the border bill.
S1444.
You know that?
Wait, are you talking about
Uh-huh.
S1444? To my knowledge,
If that's the proper
S1444.
bill, I'm not sure the
To
proper
my
name
knowledge,
of it, but it's the bill.
S1444 doesn't do anything. Doesn't have anything in it about Ukraine.
Yeah, well, you're wrong on that too, because you had about, I want to say $20 million.
Yo, you know what's crazy?
$20 billion.
When I control F Ukraine on S1444, the word Ukraine isn't even in the bill.
So $80 billion went to Ukraine, $20 billion to the
Except there
was
is nothing
designated
in
to the border.
there is nothing in S1444 about Ukraine.
Okay, then maybe that's not the. Then maybe not. We're talking about the
Yeah,
bill
you know
that
which
they
bill?
want.
You know which bill had Ukraine funding in it? HR2.
What? HR2 had Ukraine funding in it.
Yep.
How much?
I don't know. I don't really care. They voted for the Ukrainian funding 3 months after they killed HR2.
Well, no, I'm asking for a certain reason.
I don't know how much is in I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, they
the
voted yes on the Ukraine funding like 3 months later. They voted like 90 billion for Ukraine.
There we go. That's what I was just talking about.
So then, but wait, why kill the bill because of Ukraine funding? But then you're going to put through the Ukraine funding anyway.
Well, I don't agree. I don't agree with either. I don't agree with any of the Ukraine funding. Hold on. Go ahead. Sorry, excuse me. Give me the keys. So basically, the way I understood it was that bill had, I'd say, at least 2/3 of it was you funding towards Ukraine, and a very small percentage, I think, ended up being around 20 billion, was funding for the wall, or not the wall, the border, excuse me, and they called it the border bill. kind of like how the Inflation Reduction Act was supposed to reduce inflation, and it all went to green green policies. You know that kind of thing. But also, so what about that bill? Did you like that Donald Trump supposedly told them?
So the only thing in the bill that I liked is the extra funding for to give towards judges to get through asylum seeking cases.
Judges and yeah, I got you. So basically, all that does, okay,
it's higher judges.
It basically just speeds along the process. Speed along the process to get more people, migrants processed.
How many people are currently in the backlog for asylum seeking cases right now?
I don't know.
Great. So there are currently over 2 million pending asylum seeking cases that we cannot get through because we do not have the judges to get through them. So this would have added money. Asylum is when someone comes to a port of entry and has a from a country that we've approved.
You have to have a hardship having to do from which you're oppressed from the country in which you come from. Has nothing to do with economics.
Well, yes, part of this oppression can be the economy.
No, it doesn't even make sense. So it would have to be a very specific circumstance in which the government is oppressing you.
That it can't just be economic hardship. The factors that they can look into: increase in violence, militia groups, militant operations, things like this. And that would be where the economic conditions come into play.
I agree with that.
But I don't know what does it matter why people come to seek asylum? It's a legal process.
Well, it does matter. It does matter because people are. There's been most people that are coming here are, and as you know, most asylum cases are not legitimate asylum cases. They're not going to, and that was the whole purpose of Remain in Mexico.
Wait.
Come here and seek an asylum.
Untrue. What percentage of asylum cases are let me ask you, what percentage of asylum cases are
I don't know.
What do you call it? Fraudulent?
I don't know. I don't have a computer in front of me. Yeah, I don't have a computer in front of me. I don't know what the percentage of the asylum cases are. But go ahead.
So then how can you make that claim?
That what?
That the majority of asylum that the majority of asylum cases are fraudulent.
What am I saying fraudulent? I'm just saying they're not legitimate. So a lot of people, listen, we live in the best country in the world. A lot of people want to come here, right? So a lot of people are going to come here and try to seek asylum. Now, a lot of times it's not legitimate asylum cases. These people that are coming from,
I don't think they're all legitimate asylum cases. That's not the argument I'm making.
Okay.
But here's what I'm gonna say to you. When it comes to asylum seeking, do you believe that somebody coming from a country where there are issues of violence, is what I'll say, someone coming from countries where there are issues of violence, okay? Do you believe that those people should be able to come in and emigrate to the United States to avoid that violence?
It depends. It depends on the source of the violence, okay? So if the source of the violence is coming from the country itself, i.e. the government or militia groups or corruption, and then yes. But just because coming just from violent areas, I mean, shit, look at America. How many violent areas do we have in America, right? So you can't just come here for just violence. But if it's an oppressive violence from your country, like you said, like militia groups or based on a corrupt, then yes.
So when
you can't just, in other words, what I'm trying to say, you can't just come here and say that there's violence in my country and that's why I need to be in America.
Well, yeah, that would be the point of going to an asylum case. That would be why we need judges to get through the asylum cases.
I agree.
However, Remain in Mexico as a policy was largely ineffective because what it did was it led to an increase in illegal immigration because people could not wait in Mexico for their asylum seeking. Humanitarian groups have looked at the Remain in Mexico policy and found that when people went back to Mexico, what we saw was an increase in human trafficking in Mexico, an increase in childhood assault and sexual assault, an increase in adult sexual assault, and an increase in violence on migrant people. So people, to avoid that, would then immigrate, would then try to come into the country illegally because they did not want to risk the dangers that the Remain in Mexico policy put them under.
Okay, well, first of all, people have been coming to this country illegally for a while, okay? But your claim about the Remain in Mexico and the rape that occurred in Mexico, I agree with that. I heard that as well. Okay, you want to know what else has caused rape and human trafficking to shoot up through the roof? An open border.
Border's not open.
Bro, come on, man.
What does it mean for the border to be open? What does that mean? When you say the border is open, what's that mean?
The border's open. Just come on down now. And I know what you're going to say. Yes, they have. They have cut back. Hey, listen, it's an election year.
Wait,
yes,
that's not. Wait, that's not. I don't want to know about cutback. Is it legal to just cross the U.S. border? Is that legal?
Is it legal to just cross the U.S. border
without going through a port of entry? Is it legal to just cross the United States border?
Absolutely. No, absolutely not.
Then the border is closed. That's what a closed border means. A closed border means that it is not legal to walk across the border.
No. Listen, you could play on words all you want here. We all know that border is not closed.
This is what a closed border means. This is what it means.
Listen, you got the CPB-1 app that they use now.
That is for asylum seeking. That's for asylum seeking.
They are flying people. They are flying people across the border now. So you don't even have to
asylum.
go to the border.
Again, asylum is a legal process. This is for asylum.
Can I ask you something? How come so many? So these are all. This is why I asked you. Are all these legitimate asylum cases? Because we
wouldn't know because we don't have enough judges to get through the backlog of cases.
So why do all of a sudden we need so many more judges with this administration? Why is that?
We needed the judges under Trump's administration as well. But most of it is because he passed.
So why
hold on. The bulk of why it's really needed now is because Title 43 limited the number of people that could seek asylum. So when Title 43 ended, they needed to create the judges because we were going to see an influx of asylum seekers, which is why the bill, HR 2, was proposed 10 days after Title 42 ended to give us money to hire more judges to handle this influx of asylum seekers.
Yeah. No, I understand the Title 42 talking point, okay? And I know what Title 42 is. I understand the talking point. The thing is, there was a quote unquote influx way before Title. What was your question?
When was the influx?
Did you ask me
in asylum cases?
Okay, dude. Listen, you can see the influx from day one
in 2012 right now. Why are you not engaging?
What do you mean?
I provided you this information directly. This is information directly from the Department of Homeland Security. You said the minute Biden came into office, there was a spike. But in 2021, Biden's first year in office, it was the lowest asylum number since 1994.
No, I didn't say there was a spike.
Yes,
hold on. I did not say there was a spike. I said that they were already on their way up. When he had won the election, there was already caravans en route to our border.
In 2021, we had our lowest asylum admittance since 1994.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Because of Title 42.
No, absolutely not.
So why?
Because they were just letting people walk through the border.
Except they didn't, because there were 17,000 asylum seekers
cases
came
were low
in. If you are going to not engage, this is ridiculous.
Asylum. They were letting people just walk over the border.
No, they weren't.
By the million.
No, they weren't. And you don't know what you're talking about. You do not know what you're talking about.
They are you kidding me? They had setups in tents. People were living at the border, and they were coming up
because
by
of
the
the
millions
Remain in
from
Mexico
Central
policy.
America, South America.
Because Remain in Mexico made them stay in the Mexican side, and because they were only letting in a certain number of people.
Hang on. When was Remain in Mexico? Nully?
Remain in Mexico.
When did they do away with Remain in Mexico?
In 2023, if I'm not mistaken.
What? No, you are mistaken. They did it on day freaking 1 via executive order.
No,
they got rid of
policy,
Remain
the
in
policy
Mexico.
was initially ended by Joe Biden, but after some legal battles, the Supreme Court renewed it. Here, let me pull it up. Hold on, give me a second. For Remain in Mexico. Boop, boop, boop.
Remain in Mexico and catch and release. They were via executive order day 1.
Remain in Mexico was repealed
2021.
February 2021.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so in February 2021, Biden ended it, and then in August of 2021, a federal judge in Texas resumed it.
You said who resumed it?
A federal judge in Texas resumed it.
So then why wasn't anybody remaining in Mexico?
They were remaining in Mexico because Title 42 only allowed a certain number of asylum seekers in per day, which was lower because Title 42 lowered the number of asylum seekers that could come into the country. Remain in Mexico made them stay in Mexico to await their court date, but Title 42 made them stay in Mexico because they couldn't even get over here to get a court date. This is why I said I don't think you know what you're talking about.
No.
What did Title 42 do?
So
What did Title 42
did
do?
away with. I want to get this straight. Hang on. They did away with Remain in Mexico.
Yeah.
And
sub on
February.
Twitch, nice.
Hold on. Okay. All right, go ahead. What you said? What did Title 42 do?
Yeah, what did Title 42 do?
It removed the restrictions that were put on during COVID. For
What did Title?
people
No,
coming
Title
into the
42
country.
was the COVID restrictions.
Okay.
So Title 42 was still in place in 2021, hence why we only
Yeah, I
saw
know.
17,000 people admitted into the country on asylum, which is the lowest we've ever seen since 1994.
No. But you're missing my point.
I'm going to be completely
So,
honest here.
you
If you
can
say
say
no,
that.
if I'm going to be so fucking for real. If you say no to direct data from U.S. Customs and Border, then I know you're not here genuinely. You're here to be disingenuous.
No.
You can't say no to
No.
direct
That's
numbers.
Fine. No, that's fine. Hold on a second. That's fine. You're missing what I'm saying. The asylum cases could be what they are. Okay, what's on the books, what's on record. What I'm saying is they were letting people over the border. Period, and not even warning. You don't remember seeing people flooding the border?
Yeah,
Maybe
they
the asylum
weren't
cases
letting
were so
people
low
over the
because
border.
maybe they were
weren't.
so low because they weren't even bothering.
I don't
with
do
asylum.
maybes and should
Didn't
be's and
care
could
about
be's and
asylum.
have nots. I don't do maybes. They were not. There was no mass construction of the Biden administration to mass immigrate people over the border. That didn't happen.
What are you, dude? Then you're not
you have some
hearing
proof?
the people that we know of get across this border.
10 million did not come over in 1 year.
No, that's what that.
10 million did
I
not
didn't
come
say
over
10
in 1
million came
year.
over in 1 year.
Okay, so then I don't really care if 10 million people came over the course of like 3.5 years. Why would I? That's a number I don't care about.
You don't care about
That's
that?
not a significant number in my opinion.
You don't care about that number.
No, why
You
would
don't
I?
care about that number.
No, why
About
would I?
10 million people coming
Yeah,
over.
why would I?
Because that's 10 million people.
Well, that's encounters. So
Do you
10
remember
million
what
is
Barack?
encounters.
Hold on a second. Do you remember what Barack Obama said? who, by the way, was given the monocle deporter in chief. Do you remember what he said?
I don't really care what
the
Barack
border
Obama
gets
said.
to
I'm not voting for Barack
1
Obama.
million people, if Barack Obama said if it gets to 1 million people a year, that's a crisis.
Yeah, I don't really care what Barack Obama said, right? I don't really care. That has nothing to do with the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care either.
Can you tell me
really
why
care
is
either,
1
but, I
million?
mean,
Why is
it's
1
the guy
million
that-
people crossing the
that's on
border a
left, so I
crisis?
figured.
Why is 1 million people crossing the border a quote unquote crisis? Why does that constitute a crisis in your opinion?
Well, you have to ask him. Well, you'd have to
Okay,
ask
so
him.
then it's 1
He's the
million
one
people
that
crossing.
said it.
Okay, great. Then I view that 2.8 million people crossing per year is not a crisis.
Okay, I do.
Why?
I do.
Why?
Why? Because you're not legal. They're not migrating legally.
Why is that a crisis? Why is that a crisis?
Illegal.
You're just restating the question. All you're doing is restating the question.
Bro,
I know they're illegal. The question is,
if that's your point, you're going
I'm
to
sorry.
lose all
I don't
credibility.
do
if that's
I
your
don't
point.
do
That's 10
circular
million people
reasons.
over
I don't
the
do
border.
circular reasonings. I know that they're not legal. The question is, why does them crossing illegally constitute a crisis? That's what I'm asking.
You can't think of any reason.
You're the one making the claim, so what's the reason? If you can't
Well,
back
let's see.
up
So
the
they
shit
come
you
here,
say, what's the point?
Okay,
Like, come on.
illegally.
I don't care about that. Why is that a crisis?
You don't think I can back it up? I'll back it up right now.
I'm waiting.
I could back it up right now. Okay, first of all, they come here illegally. They're giving out on taxpayer dime housing, food, funding, credit cards. The crime rates are going up. I mean, we got how many people who have died? Women who are being raped. Okay, they're giving our social safety nets that they don't even pay into. Okay, they're kicking the shit out of our cops and then walking right out of jail. I mean, what was that? 5 reasons right there.
Great. Let's go through all of them. First of all, the crime rates are not going up. Across the board, crime rates are down. Crime rates are down, and they've been
Wrong.
steadily.
That's wrong.
It's not wrong.
That's wrong.
It's not wrong.
That's wrong.
It's not wrong.
That's wrong. You're
It's
getting
not
bad
wrong.
information. It's wrong.
My information comes from the
That
FBI
is.
crime statistics. Where should I
Yeah,
be getting?
and you wanna know
Where
what-
should I
yeah,
be
you're
getting
right.
the
And you
information?
hold
Where
on,
should I be
I'll
getting?
tell-
Wait,
hold on,
I'm
I'll tell
sorry.
you right now.
No, 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 no,
I'll
no.
tell you right now.
Where should I be
I'm
getting
gonna
the
tell you. You want me
information?
to tell you?
Yeah.
You-
Yeah.
You want me to tell you, or do you want to keep
Yes.
talking?
Tell me.
Okay. So they switched up. Their crime reporting agency. Okay, and only a third of the country uses it. That's why the crime statistics look like they have gone down when crime is really up.
So that's not true.
Okay, I just made that up.
94
I just made that
as
up
of
off the top my head.
2023, 94.3% of the population is reported in the UCR. So you're wrong. You're just wrong. And it's funny watching you be wrong.
Hold on. What did you just say? 94.3% of the population is what?
Included in the UCR. The UCR covers
Uniform Crime Reports, okay.
94.3% of the population in the country.
Okay, that's not what I said. I said the agencies that are reporting, reporting the crime, like the police agencies and so forth.
In order for this to cover that many people, in order for this to cover that many
Wow.
people, it would have to be
Wow.
reported by the agencies. How else would they report them?
Okay, well, I tell you what, let me get up. 'Cause I know you got a computer in front of you, so.
Also, what changed in the reporting that makes the numbers now inaccurate?
What do you mean?
What has changed?
What do you mean? What?
You made a claim that the reporting has changed and this makes it less accurate. What specifically about the reporting has changed?
No. The reporting hasn't changed. All right, I'm going to explain this one more time. The reporting hasn't changed. Who they report to, the database that is used that they report to, has changed. Now, this was a few months ago. I don't know if it's changed back, but a few months ago they switched the database the crime is reported to. Okay, and as of that point, they did this. Just like it's all smoke and mirrors, like the Democrats always do. Only a small percentage of agencies reporting actually used that database. So it looks like the statistics were lower than what they really were.
Do you have proof of this? demonstrate is you not only have to demonstrate like the new system of reporting, but exactly how the new system of reporting is failing. You have to show sources to show that this new system is failing. You can't just make the claim, right?
Yeah, I understand. No, I understand how that works. Like I said, I'm not in front of a computer right now like you are, but
to continue down, just really quickly, to continue down all the other stuff you said, undocumented immigrants, according to the IRS, pay $100 billion in taxes every year. So they are paying into the system.
What?
According to IRS data,
how they're paying taxes?
Undocumented immigrants, multiple ways. Do you know that people who are undocumented can receive tax numbers from the IRS and still pay, even though they're in the country illegally? Did you know that? You didn't know that,
You're talking about what you're talking about, like work visas?
Nope.
Huh?
Nope.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about multiple different, like.
You're saying that.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
So undocumented immigrants pay about $96.7 billion. They pay about $96.7 billion every year. $59.4 billion of that is federal government pay.
Bella _ beautiful 29 donated $10.
Is state and local government pay. They typically pay about $8,000 per person, or $8,000 to $9,000 per person per year. IRS is the source, the Internal Revenue Service, the people that collect taxes.
And this is all from illegal immigrants.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, good on them. They're the ones that work and pay taxes.
So then, sitting here and claiming that undocumented immigrants are draining the resources because they're using up all these services is nonsense, because they're paying into those services.
Are you saying you think that's the majority of them?
It's $100 billion.
I don't mean. Listen, I want to be clear. Here. I don't mean illegal immigrants, I don't mean immigrants in general. Okay. What I'm saying is I don't want to despair. I'm pro immigration. I'm just anti illegal immigrant. I'm anti what's been going on the past 3.5 years.
Yeah. Why?
Okay. So now, in this administration, the one that
wait. Let me ask you a question. Should immigrating into the country be easier? Should it be easier to legally immigrate into the country?
Yep, we can agree on that.
So then why would you vote in Donald Trump, who made it harder to immigrate into the country? Effectively making it harder. He made it harder to do family sponsors. He made the wait times longer. He made the requirements stricter. If we're going to talk about leading to illegal immigration, if you make it harder to legally immigrate, people are going to illegally immigrate because you've made it harder for them to do it legally.
Yeah, I think we can make it easier for people to migrate here. But again, I mean, they have to go through a vetting process, okay? They have to go through a vetting process. We have to, see who it is we're getting. That is not what's happening. That is not what's happened the past 4 years.
Because it's hard for them to go through that process.
So when you say I don't see any negative with getting 10 million people that we have no idea who they are, I say you must not have children.
What does that have to do with anything?
I mean, because if you have children, if you have daughters, okay, and you're just letting millions of people that you don't have I don't care where they come from. I don't care what they look like. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care who they are. If you're just 10 million people you don't know, are you going to let how many people you don't know into your home? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, that's not a hard point. I mean, if we could find common ground, it's got to be on that.
No, we can't.
Let's go. Go ahead.
No?
Okay.
No,
yeah, all right. So just go ahead and let anybody in. Who cares who they are? It doesn't care. It doesn't matter if that women are getting raped and all the women who have died, the Laken Riley,
more migrants suffer from trafficking and rape and all that than U.S. citizens do. It's the migrants that are being trafficked and raped.
You're right about that.
Not the U.S.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
Restricting immigration.
So you're for open borders. So then you're for open borders?
Me personally, yes. I think the border should be open.
Yeah.
Just like the Ellis Island days.
Well, then we just get down to the crux. We just fundamentally disagree.
It would appear so.
I don't think you just let people, yeah. Well, no. I mean, you can have disagreements on certain details, but agree on the crux of things. We just fundamentally disagree. I'm not for open borders. I think you have to know who's coming into your country, brother. Just like, you know, your home, you got to know who's coming into your home. I made that analogy, right? You're not just going to
Who they are. We know who the bulk of them are because 60%
No,
of
we
all
don't.
people that come in here undocumented are on visa overstays. We know exactly who they are because they had to be approved to be let in here anyway in order to get the visa the first time.
Well, we also know that there's been how many terrorists that have come in as well, and we also know how many rapists.
I'm sorry,
have
how many
come in.
terrorists have come in?
And-
Give me a number. Give me a number on
It was, I don't know the exact number, but it's more than a few hundred.
that. And how do we know they came in?
What do you mean? How do we know where they came in?
How do we know they came into the country?
They've been identified. They've been
Oh, we've
to
identified
various
them.
means. They've been, huh?
We've identified them.
Well, some of them, not all of them,
Mm-hmm.
because there's ones that we know of. When on the ones that we know of, there's how many more that we don't know.
So the ones that
But
we
some
know
of
of,
them,
what
yeah.
did we do? What did we do with the ones that we know of?
That's a good question.
Are they still in the country?
They are.
So we know that terrorists are in the country and we're just letting them in the country. That's your claim.
That sounds pretty crazy, right?
Well, what's the evidence?
Yes, that's my claim. Yes, that's my claim.
What is the evidence?
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't have the computer in front of me.
That's
You
what I
do.
thought. Anyway, I'm apparently losing all sorts of internet right now. So give me a second, guys, to see what's going on with my internet. Let me run a speed test real quick. I don't know if it's just that caller or what. But my internet is just running like fucking trash. How many times during that call did... No, it's clearly me. My speed test is even running slow as shit.
Thank you, Boo.
Poisoner, thank you for following. It's right now. All right, let me do a computer reset. Maybe that'll fix it. I will be right back. I'm going to do a computer reset, and hopefully that will reset everything. So I will be right back, and we'll try to continue with the stream. Okay?